Alright, so I just got done with this fight a little while ago, and I thought that it would be a good example to use as just to demonstrate several different PvP tactics, the mindset, and just a couple of little considerations you can think about while you're trying to fight in faction warfare and just EVE Online PvP in general. The So there's a couple of things I need to kind of explain before I start the fight. I was sitting in this small outpost when I saw these five neutral targets, or these five neutrals, spike into system. So when I saw that, I started burning off from the gate. Just turned my micro warp drive on, started burning, and I have a third-party utility on my computer called Pirate's Little Helper that lets me look people's. It gives you a high-level overview of what individuals' kill boards look like. So I checked these guys out beforehand. Got a pretty good sense that they were working together, but that it would be an interesting fight if I stuck around and waited to see what they were bringing. So I burn off from the gate, and I managed to make it 400 kilometers away from the warp in here before they actually start sliding in, or well, probably closer to 300. They start burning towards me here, and so what I'm doing here is I'm kind of drawing them out, stringing them out, and trying to see how how much these guys actually want to fight. If they burn this far out to get to me, they really want to fight. And I'm also trying to string them out a little bit to mitigate some of their ability to work together. So you see the Tristans here are probably afterburner fit. They're both moving at about a kilometer a second. So it's going to take them a long time to get to me. The Incursus is micro warp drive fit, but he's not as fast as the Atron and the Hookbill here, who are fast and who are managing to burn out to me. So what I do is I just kind of mill around here for a little bit. I'm just afterburning around, and these guys are just making a beeline for me, so I know they want to fight. I kind of pre-checked and preheated a lot of my modules. So again, just watching their speeds, ranges, making sure that I know what I can fight. So the first part of this fight is going to be the way I've got these guys separated. I'm going to be fighting the Atron and the Hookbill at the same time. Um, so I kind of weigh these two ships side by side. I know that if I'm trying to 2v1 them, the Atron has the potential to do a fair amount of damage if it's blaster fit, but it's also going to be easier to kill than a Hookbill, generally speaking. So I want to try to clear that off the field first, and then I can focus on the Hookbill. So that's kind of my intent here as I start burning at them. Um, However, one thing to note here is that I could have looked at these ships while they were on grid with me, and that would have helped me a little bit. The Atron actually doesn't have guns fit to it in this particular fight, which was really weird. So he would have been useless. He would have just been tackling me. The Hookbill is the main issue, the main source of damage coming here. So, anyways, I'm burning straight at them, they're burning straight at me, and of course, I web the Atron, but he slingshots me a little bit here, which doesn't really matter because the Hookbill still makes a beeline for me and manages to scram me. So I decide to switch targets to the Hookbill instead. So we start fighting. I heat DPS because I need to kill everything as fast as possible. I'm starting to bleed. I'm with this particular fit. I'm flying a triple tanked Hookbill. It's got like bulkhead rigs, so it's got some hull tank, a small ancillary armor repair, and a medium ancillary shield booster. So it's got a lot of extra tank here, but it's all active modules. So I try to. This is kind of where you tend to stay is like low shields with this sort of fit, um, because it helps you bleed armor a little bit, which lets you use the ancillary armor repair, and it keeps people interested. So I start killing the Hookbill here. The Atron comes back in. He's just got me scrammed though. He's not really contributing to anything. Um, so firing on the Hookbill and managed to kill him pretty quickly here. Now, as this is going on, I'm also watching the range of the Incursus, which would be the next ship to join the fight here. Um, so I kill the Hookbill. I know I still need to kill the Atron, but now I'm starting to weigh my options. I'm obviously in low armor, but that's less of an issue here. And with dual webs, I can keep blaster ships like this, presumably blaster ships, at a good range. So I'm not really worried at this point. At this point, I'm just going to kill the Atron, but I need to figure out what I'm going to do about the rest of these guys. The Incursus is still a fair ways away, but he's burning at 2.5 kilometers a second, so he's going to get here fast. And I decide that I'm I'm still kind of hesitant at this point as to whether I want to take that part of the fight or not. So I'm I actually double clicked in space over here, or I think I do it now, uh, to start pulling range from the Atron just in case I needed to get away from him. And you see here, I give myself a heated micro warp drive cycle. That's to help me kind of keep range from this Incursus, who is like right up on me now. So I start moving at what 4K a second. Pull a little bit of range, so now I'm closer to 24 off. I unheat the micro warp drive, and I decide that I'm going to start repairing some of my modules for a little bit, just to I think about it at least. I think, oh man, maybe this guy will stay interested long enough to touch up on some of this damage. But I decide that I want to kind of keep him at range, just to kind of keep him interested, but to give me a chance to kind of make sure everything's square for this part of the fight. Um, but as I was doing that, I kind of made a mistake, but it wasn't, at this point it wasn't really a mistake, where I just sort of, I said keep it range with a micro warp drive on. That meant that I would burn straight at him. He doesn't catch me here, but at this point I'm like, I'm just gonna take this fight. So I hit him with dual webs, scram, start hitting him with rockets, and blaster ship again. I can keep at a pretty decent distance without having to worry about it too much. So I orbit at 7,500 there, and I just blow him up here. And as this is happening, I'm looking at the remaining two ships on field, the Tristans, which are still slow boating out here. They're 230, 270 kilometers away. So they're not getting here anytime soon. Um, so after I killed him, I thought, oh yeah, maybe I can go for the Tristans. So I start burning for them. But the ambient OSX guy here happens to be these guys, like CEO, I think, and they're probably all, they're all together. They're probably all on comms together, and he's probably calling to just get them to warp off. So these guys, you see the pod warps off here, or the pods plural, and then the Tristans warp off too. So that just kind of leaves me to rep up and call for a good fight. And that's pretty much it. Lots of stuff going on, but yeah, it was a blast, and hopefully I managed to touch on something here that might be useful for you in the future.